Hi, guys, I'm Ezelle from The Upcoming. Lovely to speak to you today. Congratulations on a fantastic film.
Oh, thank you.
Just keeps you guessing right till the end. So perhaps we could start by you giving us a little brief introduction to what the Strays film is all about, what can viewers expect when they watch it.
I'm going to let you take it this time. Oh, wow, you really wanted me to give it a second time.
Immediately.
Okay. So, Strays is about this woman who has the perfect life, perfect husband, perfect family, perfect job, and then two strangers show up in town and they kind of cause her distress.
To put it mildly.
That's my little short blurb.
Lovely. Ashley, you play this sort of central character who's both a mother and a wife, but I think what's really interesting about your character is how you turn your back on your heritage as a black woman and kind of take on this persona of a gentrified, white, wealthy, suburban working mother, saying the two worlds don't mix. Was that kind of an interesting angle when you got the script from Nathaniel, and how did that feel bringing that storyline to screen?
It's a scary element of the storyline because I obviously don't feel that way. I identify as a woman of colour and always have. So it was definitely scary, but I think part of the journey is finding the whys, and it's never as simple as you just don't want to be black anymore. I think for Neve, it's a lot to do with, she doesn't want anything to do with her past life. She wants to get as far away from that trauma as she most possibly can. So if that means leaving behind her heritage, so be it. I mean, I think she'd do anything to escape it.
And Jordan, obviously, it's actually quite scary being in the same room as you now that I've seen the film.
Such a cutie.
No problem. Could you tell us about exploring your role in this and what you liked about playing this character and, how you prepared for such an intense and also quite a vulnerable performance too?
So, exploring... The biggest thing with Marvin was exploring his personality and, what makes him tick and kind of not playing him as just this 2D character. He's does lots of layers to him, so it's peeling that and finding that out within him. And that was a great thing to explore. As an actor, that's you really you want to do character study. You want to kind of really get into the brain of who you're playing. So that was really fun to do. Getting into that as well. I think music helped me a lot. Finding the character, the emotion, and depending on the scenes we were doing as well, I built a playlist of the songs. I usually do that with characters, so building that really helps. It was things like that.
Amazing. And Ashley, what was it like working with you? All these, the different dynamics of such a huge ensemble cast, and then obviously building your relationship with your son here. How was that for you? And like you say, turning your back on your children, It's what you said in the film was kind of, it's what a lot of fathers do, not necessarily mothers. So how was that, building this?
I think that we spent a lot of time talking about the relationships and how they got to where they were. And I had to endow Jordan and Bookie with the fact that they were my children and just really feel that way about that and think about how that would feel. I said in rehearsals that I feel like she probably has been haunted by these children anyway. There's no way that she hasn't seen these children before. And now they're really there. But I bet she does. I'm sure at the beginning she doesn't think they're really there. I know, it's like how I saw them last week. Like, she's always going to see them. And then her nightmare has turned into a reality.
You've previously taken on the role of a sibling in the BBC drama Stephen, but obviously it's completely different. What was that kind of like, building that sibling rapport with Bouquet Bakray, playing your brilliant but completely unhinged sister?
It was great. We had a lot of fun together and we were laughing all the time, considering like how dark this film is. The amount of laughter that was on the set, was great. So we naturally felt into a rhythm with each other, I think, as well. Like, it really did feel like a double act between the two of us. I remember it was nice.
And it's not a conventional horror in a sense, because it's not all blood and guts, but the psychological twists are just so unexpected and immense all the way through it. For both of you, what was your favourite scene to kind of film? Any standout moments?
My favourite scene was the diner when we all met up.
Oh yeah.
I think that was my favourite because naturally we hadn't actually done that many scenes together. We were
By that point, yeah.
Yeah, we were always obviously on set, but we hadn't actually filmed together that much.
Yeah.
So it really felt a natural build up to that moment.
Yeah.
I was like, oh gosh, we're actually having this conversation.
That
So-
was actually the scene that I taped as well.
Really?
Yeah,
I-
for Nathaniel, and so it was like a scene that I felt the most connection to. Like I'd been on a journey with that scene already. It was a good scene.
Yeah.
Not the dripping water.
By the way, also a great scene.
It's horrible. Okay, you've got such a visionary director, you know, brought so much to the script. What was it like working with Nathaniel on this?
He's great. Like, he knows what he wants, but he's also open to playing around, trying it loads of different ways. He has great, like, he's got very strong ideas about what visually the take is going to be, but he's also not afraid. Like, we'd sometimes do setups and then he'd be like, you know what? I'm changing setup.
Yeah. He really wanted you to explore it and find yourself, like your route as that character, like why you got there. He didn't want to just give it to you.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, as actors, you want to play around with it. You want to feel it naturally.
Find your own journey.
And yeah, really appreciate that.
What were some of the challenges then of working on this?
For me, it was the fact that she goes on such a complex journey, and there are moments of real distress and unraveling, and we're shooting them out of order. So it was finding a way to kind of get there and pitch that correctly. And one thing I found really helpful was to think of her as a person who, when we meet her, isn't wound too tightly. Like, she's already started to come apart when we meet her in the first scene. That helped me. So it wasn't so much of a leap to get there.
The intensity of some of those scenes, you know, they're quite full on and it's quite heavy. So it was kind of like making sure you hit that, but also wanting it to be real and not forced.
And what do you think some of the themes that come out of this are? I mean, it does explore quite an unusual storyline, I suppose, with so many of the characters. What do you think some of the themes are that come out of this that viewers will...
Identity,
family.
yeah, generational trauma. Race is definitely there, but I don't think it's the it's a central theme, but it's not the message.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
And, you know, obviously the psychological thriller horror genre is so popular. Do you have a favourite yourself?
Ooh, that is a good question. I don't like to be scared naturally. So I like the ones where there's no blood and guts. Really love Funny Games. That's a great one because it makes you really anxious.
Yes, yeah.
Without showing you too much.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, Get Out. Get
Out's great.
Brilliant. Yeah, again, I'm not great with
I don't
the...
like to be scared.
Saw really scares me. I can't watch Saw.
Yeah, I haven't watched that's probably the last proper horror movie I watched.
Really?
Yeah, like the first one.
Oh.
I haven't seen it. I mean, this scared me enough to be honest. And what do you hope viewers will take away from watching this?
We were talking about that we hope that it sparks conversation, that
Yeah.
it opens up a dialogue about all those themes that we discussed. There's no like right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong reaction to it. I think people will have strong reactions, and I would almost prefer that. I would prefer strong reactions and ambivalence.
Yeah, definitely. You want people to have a conversation and them to look at these characters and be like, oh, I thought this, and, you know, talk about it with each other.
I think they definitely will. Gosh, it's amazing. So congratulations. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
speaking to me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hope everyone enjoys it as much as I did. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Bye.